Chapter 10. So we find in chapter 10 the kids are feeling like Atticus is boring. Atticus can't do anything. They're talking to Miss Maudie, complaining about how old he is, how boring he is. She tries to make them feel better, telling him that he can ride an airtight wheel and he can play the Jew's harp and, he can play checkers and all this kind of stuff. And none of those things are enough for the kids. Like, they think he's boring and old. He won't play in the football game. He just won't do the things that the other kids' dads do. And they don't understand that. And it makes them kind of negative towards Atticus. All right. So, on page 90, we do get a quote here about these air rifles that Atticus gave them for Christmas. So understand that Atticus is the one that gave them the air rifles. Uncle Jack is the one that picked them up. So Uncle Jack bought them with Atticus's money, brought them with him on the train, but they are from Atticus. So as the kids are learning to shoot, he has Uncle Jack teach them. Says Atticus doesn't have no interest in guns. No interest. Do you see how my southern accent is getting me? These kids get me. And so he gives them the basic lesson on how to shoot a gun. But Atticus does say to them, shoot at tin cans. I know that you're going to eventually try to shoot at birds. Shoot all the blue jays that you want if you can hit them. But it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. The title of your book is To Kill a Mockingbird. Right there, you just got why the title of the book is To Kill a Mockingbird. It's a sin to kill a mockingbird. And Miss Maudie explains it to them and says, yeah, that's about right, because mockingbirds, they don't do anything to harm people. They don't eat your gardens. They don't make nests in your corn cribs. They don't do anything to bother people. All they do is make beautiful music to bring us pleasure. So don't shoot those. You don't kill something, you don't shoot something that does nothing to you. Okay? So that's the title of the book. Hold on to that quote. That's from page 90. Then we have the scene with the mad dog. So basically we have a dog that's coming into town. He's walking all crooked, whatever. And they call him a mad dog, which means he has rabies, which it affects the brain. It makes the dog go crazy. If a mad dog bites you and a person gets rabies in the 1930s, they're going to die. So everybody's extremely scared. Calpurnia alerts everybody. She calls Atticus, Mr. Finch, mad dog coming, mad dog coming. She goes through the neighborhood. She has the telephone operator call all the neighbors to tell them a mad dog's coming, and everybody closes up their house. Everybody, wooden doors are shut, shutters are closed, like they are all hiding inside their house to protect themselves against this mad dog and his disease. Calpurnia says, do the Radleys have a phone? Jem says no. And so Calpurnia actually runs down the street, like this takes courage, runs down the street to the Radley house, up on the front porch, knocking and yelling, mad dog coming, mad dog coming. And Scout makes a comment that says she's supposed to go around back. Right there. One little comment shows you that a child, 7-year-old, maybe 8-year-old child at this time, I guess she's 7, understands the place for a black person. Black people are not allowed to use the front door of a white person's house. They're supposed to go around the back and use the servant's entrance. Even Scout at 7 years old understands this cultural norm. That's not okay. If a 7-year-old gets it, that means that this was completely normal, completely accepted. That's just the way it was. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's okay to say, oh, you can't use this door because of your skin color. Okay? So that's why that little thing is in there. The sheriff arrives with Atticus and, are you sure it's Mad Dog coming this way? They talk about that. When the dog comes into sight, they say, sure enough, he's mad. We got to take him down. And the sheriff gives the gun to Atticus. And the kids are like, what? Oh my gosh, why would you give Atticus a gun? He never shoots a gun. What is Hecate, the sheriff, thinking? And he says, I'd feel right. I haven't shot a gun in years. And the sheriff says, well, I'd feel mighty comfortable if you did right now. You know you're a better shot than I am, always have been. The kids are overhearing this and they're like, what the heck? They've never even seen Atticus. They've never heard of Atticus shooting a gun. This is supposed to be a huge moment. The sheriff in the town should be a better shot than the lawyer who never shoots. But the sheriff gives the gun to the lawyer? It tells you something, okay? The kids watch, and here goes Atticus, this dog coming at him, danger, full of disease, coming at him down the street. Everybody else hidden away in the safety of their homes. And Atticus walks into the street, puts the gun up, and shoots the dog. When he does, everybody comes out, dog's dead, stay away from it, it's still got rabies, it's still sick. But all of a sudden, Miss Maudie yells out, I saw that old one shot. And Atticus just looks at her. And Jem is speechless. Atticus? Atticus? Like, he can't even register this in his brain. And the sheriff even says, what's the matter with you, boy? Didn't you know that your dad's the deadest shot in Macomb County? Didn't you know growing up back at the Landing, his name was Old One Shot Finch? Didn't you know that if he shot 15 times and only killed 14 doves, he'd complain about wasting ammunition? He was good. And when the kids talk to Miss Maudie, and Miss Maudie says, what, you didn't know that? And she tells him all this. I wonder why he doesn't hunt anymore, says Jim. And she says that he realized that God had given him an unfair advantage in his talent. God had given him an unfair advantage against living things with his talent of shooting. And Atticus Finch isn't going to take advantage of that blessing. I want you to take that and hold on to it. I'm going to come back to it later. An advantage, God-given advantage, that you don't use against living things. She also makes the comment on page 98, well, people in their right minds never take pride in their talents. Your talent is not something that you have done. Your talent is something that God has given you. You can't take pride. You shouldn't take pride in the gifts and talents that God has given you. Okay? Pride is a terrible, wonderful thing. So, what I want you to get is that this chapter, that it was a huge symbol of Atticus's character. Atticus, when everybody else hides away in their houses, Atticus steps out into the danger zone. He steps out into a place and confronts the disease that's coming upon the town. He stands up to it, he faces it, and he takes it down. It's the same thing he's trying to do with the Tom Robinson case and the usual disease of racism. He's taking this case, he's standing up against the racism, and he's trying to take it down, while the other people are hiding in the safety of their homes. Chapter 10's key word is mockingbird.